discuss, move, etc.? If not, new business. I would like to introduce a motion to approve attendance at PSBA conferences for 3 board members, Mr. Casper, Mrs. Yardley, and Mr. Redomo. This is part of board policy to approve these. There obviously is an account where this funding comes from. I believe the only withdrawal from that account so far is Mr. Thompson, who was kind enough to attend the PSBA conference at Hershey in the fall.
We did initially, we got reimbursed when we went,
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And that's the point, that we should approve it so that it's, public knowledge, basically. So that's what I'm asking for tonight, that the 3 people who have asked to attend these conferences now have that authority to do so. So, comments or questions? I'm sorry, second on the motion. Thank you, Mr. Deming. Dr. Yarnell moved and Mr. Deming seconded the motion to approve board member attendance at the PSBA conferences. I will say that I personally think that that's a benefit to the board. I hope board members who do this share what they learn. I know Mr. Thompson has in the past and others, so I certainly appreciate that. And not all of us can attend them, especially if they come on a weekday, but I appreciate that. So any other comments or questions on this? If not, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 9-0. Any other new business that board members would like to discuss?
I don't know whether it's new business, the resolution that we were talking about passing, that, is there something, is that going to be acted on?
Letter to George,
The letter to, both to the IU, to go on record as, challenging the lack of inaction on the Peasers devastation that they're creating at the district level.
This is really to the legislature. Basically, you're directing these comments primarily to the legislature, but as a group, we talked about this. I don't know how many board members were there that night, maybe all of us, but for the public's benefit, we are talking about addressing this issue from a group perspective in the hopes of getting further action. I know there has been some discussion. Obviously, Governor Corbett has proposed again some changes in the PSERS, and I know Representative Grell out of Cumberland County also has a proposal on the floor. So far there's a lot of talk, not necessarily a lot of action on any of those or anything other than that. So this is an effort just to, and I know there are other boards who have done that, so we would like to put together, with the approval of the board, obviously, such a resolution. Mr. Dent?
Now, I think this came up because we know that Palisades did such a thing.
Yes.
And Dr. Radigan, you had indicated you were going to be bringing this up with the principal who did the IE. Did that happen yet?
Yes, we did meet, and what I think I shared with the board is there have been certain resolutions that we have addressed with, for example, cyber charter schools and all these different things that are costing the district's money. And Peasers is one that we are looking at sending a letter as well.
Okay. Does that answer your question? I think we need to continue this
Does it
effort.
need a vote? That's why I brought it up. Is it, or is it just?
I think it needs a vote, but we need to have the resolution before we have the vote, is what I believe.
That's fine.
So if, Mr. Ferry,
Yes.
I hate to put you on the spot, but can you make sure that we get a copy of that, and then we can propose amendments if necessary, or not, if we choose to pass it as it stands, so that we can go forward with this, if you would. Thank you. Any other new business? If not, we will move to announcements. The next regular school board meeting is scheduled for Monday, February 24th, 2014, here at the District Administration Office, although there is a special board meeting on February 12th as well. That, I believe, is also at 7:30 here in the District Administration Office. There were executive sessions held on January 8th, 14th, and 23rd for the purpose of personnel issues, and there will also be an executive session tomorrow night, the 28th, also for personnel issues. At this point, we're to the point of comments or questions from guests. Please state your name and your municipality. Silent group? How about, I'm sorry. You look like a very familiar face.
Yes, I'm Lisa DeLaurentis, I'm the Director of Facilities at the Bucks County IU, and I just have a question regarding the addendum. And if I missed this, I apologize, but I thought we appointed Mrs. Miller to the IU board, and if I read this addendum, it says the appointment of Mrs. Schmidt to serve on the Bucks County IU board, so I'm confused.
Yeah. The written copy was in error, I apologize, I thought we had clarified it, but
You may have.
indeed, Mrs. Miller will represent us at the IU, and Mrs. Schmidt will represent us at the Upper Bucks County Technical School, so
Thank you.
if you have, I believe, as I recall, you're a district resident, correct? Or
Yes,
not?
I'm a district resident.
Yes, okay, so if you have comments or questions, or, want to criticize Mrs. Miller's, your, I don't want to say man, your woman in this case.
Yes. Well, thank you, and if I missed that, I
And
apologize.
thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? If not, questions from the press?
What, do you repeat the names of the two labor loans and
Yes, I will gladly do that. The gentleman who's going to represent us in the negotiations with the Penridge Education Association, that is our teachers, will be Ryan Cassidy, Cassidy, and he is from Eckert, Eckert, Siemens, Seamans, and they are attorneys at law in Philadelphia. And the other gentleman is Rob Cox. He is part of the Eastburn and Gray law firm in Doylestown.
Is that COX?
COX, yes. Is that what you need?
Thank you.
Anything else from the press? Okay, thank you very much for coming. This meeting is adjourned.